You're listening to Rivals of the East.
Welcome back to Rivals of the East, everybody. I'm your host, Buzz, with co-host Sean. And short week this week, Sean. Dolphins play the Bengals on Thursday night. So that's going to be pretty fun. Prime time.
Biggest takeaway I want to take just from looking at the Bengals-Dolphins game, I want to see those sick uniforms the Bengals have.
Oh, apparently they're trying to get the whiteout going like Penn State does, where everybody dresses
the
in white
on black stripes. I would love that.
Oh, yeah. I'm super excited about those. I don't care what anybody says, Dolphins fan or not, those are going to be some sexy uniforms. I think everybody can admit that with the white helmet and all. But yeah, we got Miami playing the Bengals, which we're going to dive into first. But also, we do have the New England Patriots as well with no Mac Jones, right?
Yes, it is confirmed. High ankle sprain, potentially needs tightrope surgery that Tua has also gone through on both legs.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is having a little discrepancy with the organization, apparently, with timables and returning. And he's doing what I think is the right thing and making sure he gets a second opinion and just getting it done correctly. Tom Brady in previous pasts also pushed to do the same, but ended up following what the team wanted. And they botched the surgery, caused an infection, and extended his time off the field. So I agree with Mac Jones. It's a lost season. You're going to reload. You're going to have more cap next year. No reason to push him out there on a lost season. Let's let him get healthy, see if he could do it with a few more weapons next year, and then we'll just go from there. And if it doesn't work, then it's time to move on.
Well, maybe he'll be like Dak and take some notes when Bill signs Cam Newton.
Yeah, reports are saying that Dak Prescott could return as early as this week. He is my fantasy quarterback. Honestly, I don't care. He's a disgrace. He's an embarrassment. I'll never select another Cowboys player ever again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, on a more serious note here, Miami is playing the Bengals on a Thursday night primetime game coming up. And, of course, we've just come off of a big win against the Buffalo Bills, 21-19 this past Sunday. Really just a big statement game for Miami. Bills, of course, were very depleted on defense, but nevertheless, it's a division game. It's a win. That's what matters most at the end of the year. Miami, the only undefeated AFC team, not East, but team right now in the NFL, sitting at 3-0, thanks to some wild games. Of course, the Chiefs losing to the Colts and some others. I don't think Miami is the best team in the NFL. I think that belongs to the Eagles right now. But considering what Miami's done, I think near the top, at least for now. I'm going to flat out say it, Sean. We've talked about this a little bit. It just a couple of different things pop into my mind sitting at 3-0 going into this Bengals game. First thing that comes to mind is even though we're at 3-0, I just don't feel like it's this dominant 3-0 team. We've had a really slow start against New England, which thankfully New England was even slower when they started, and we won that 20-7. Then we were getting blown up by Baltimore, and they did show resolve and came back. But again, I think we lucked out with some of those injuries, and Tyreek Hill coming back in the game thankfully opened that up for us. So we had two huge plays, and we got to lead a comeback there, which is great. And the Buffalo game was very satisfying in a sense. Ken Dorsey was losing his ever-loving mind in the booth, of course, at the end of the game. Somewhat like you when your DoorDash driver takes your food after they say they delivered it. But nevertheless,
I'm a hardworking man. I deserve that food.
You took my cheesy gordita crunch. Or Crunchwrap Supreme, I should say.
Yeah, but Baja Blast.
The nectar of the gods, right? No, but honestly, the Bills team was very depleted. I would have felt more satisfied, I guess, with a win over them little more healthy to say like this is our team, this is our division. But I mean, we are sitting at 3-0. It just feels odd to me because I feel like I should feel a little more pumped going into this Bengals game. But this Bengals team, Sean, is a really good football team. They've started off wobbly. The Jets are obviously everybody's rebound after their serious relationship, so poor flaccid Flacco only mustered 12 points for them against the Bengals this past week. Bengals won 27-12.
I was about to say, like, for Tony Romo, Jessica Simpson, for Tom Brady, Monahan to Budgeon, like, I could go down the list.
Right.
Zach Wilson to who he's with now as opposed to one of his mom's friends. He's a MILF seeker. So, like, the list continues.
Remember Russell Wilson's first girlfriend?
The one that with the...
Yeah, the one who thought that she had the look on her face like, I made it.
I finally made it. I'm going to cash in. And then he went, hey, so...
It's not working out.
I don't think it's going to work out, just like you said with the Seahawks. And now he's going, let's ride to more losses in Denver.
Well, if they keep getting quarterbacks giving up safeties because they don't know where they're at in the end zone, they could still win games.
When you have a guy standing in the middle of the end zone and you throw outside the far right where it's like triple covered, I mean,
listen,
let Russ cook. American slice of cheese and a bowl of cereal. Let Russ cook.
No, I think Russ is sophisticated. In fact, I think Russ is a hot dog cut up in mac and cheese kind of guy.
Beanies and weenies kind of man.
Beanies and weenies, hot dog and mac and cheese, grilled cheese.
Canned hot dogs. Not even the dry package.
The Viennas.
Fair enough. Whatever those like monstrosities people eat like over in Ohio. I don't know.
Well,
Cincinnati chili, whatever the hell you want to call that.
Cincinnati chili. I think that's just whatever's left over in the kitchen sink.
I think it's a myth. I don't think it exists. But
I digress. But Sean, that's the feeling I get is I just feel like even though we're at 3-0, I don't feel confident that, going into the Bengals stadium, I think we'll win. But I just feel like it's probably going to be an ugly game. We have a lot of players coming back, and I'll talk about that here. But yeah, you probably felt that way. I know you mentioned before about the early 2010s Patriots team that Matt Patricia, when he was on the other side of the ball, calling plays on defense. We're very similar in some ways because we're giving up way too many yards on defense. We can't run the ball. And this past game with the Bills, now granted, Buffalo ate up a lot of time of possession. They had, 40 plus minutes with the ball out of the entire game. Tua only threw the ball 18 times for $186 and a touchdown, who also got, I don't care what anybody says, was concussed. It wasn't because of his back or his ankles. He was concussed. But he did finish the game. But I don't know about, just the durability of this team and some of the other things coming up. Teron Armstead still got that toe injury he's playing through, and some of the other injuries. We're going to get Byron Jones back for the Jets game. Not like he needs to play that one, but what are your thoughts on this Miami team going into Cincinnati, Sean?
I think they're kind of a team where they're in a position that they're like you were banging the drum our last show, opportunistic. They can ill afford to turn over the ball. They have to maintain possession, eat that clock, short passes, whatever it is they may do. The run game, if you can get it going, I don't expect it to. I don't think they're that kind of team. Defense, yes, it's struggling, but as long as they get a turnover and they capitalize on points, they have potential. The Bengals, they invested all that money on that offensive line. Currently, Burrow is on track to receive 110 sacks currently at this rate. And that is astronomical. When you're getting sacked almost 10 times a game and you're paying, I don't know, it's got to be over $100 million on that offensive line. It's not working out. The Dolphins, they got to take advantage. They just have to. They have to strike when the iron's hot. If they're causing pressures early on, they have to score. They have to get up early. They have to pressure. I mean, you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It's not going to be easy on the defensive side. The offense has to be 100%. I think they can do it. I think if the Bengals turn over early, I think the Dolphins are capable of stacking early and getting that lead and holding on.
Yeah, that's what I'm banking on when I think Miami's going to win. I do think that, Burrow's been pretty, giving with the ball lately to some teams. So
Yeah.
they could force them out. Because here's the thing. It's going to be interesting because the Bengals' offensive line sucks, but Miami's pass rush sucks. So
Well,
we're going to
Ingram's
find out.
got a mean groin kick.
Oh, my gosh.
Anything's possible.
Well, Miami's right now ranked 13th in total offense. The Bengals are ranked about 18th, I think. So pretty similar there. But the scary thing, Sean, can you guess where Miami's defense is ranked after 3 weeks of football?
28th.
31st.
That's elite.
We are the 31st ranked defense. We are the worst defense against the pass. We are the worst pass rushing team. We are bad at stopping the run. We're about 20th at stopping the run. We're awful on third downs. Again, I think you get those big plays that they'll get like that fumble on Mac Jones that Melvin Ingram scoops up, or Josh Allen, what we had in the last game. Again, Melvin Ingram scooped up that we got us at the 6-yard line on that one. I think those are the shock big plays on defense that keep us in there, that kind of people forget about it. But as far as Miami having a good defense right now, and again, Byron Jones is out, so that is hindering us because we're playing Cater Cowhu and Keon Cross and practice squad guys, and undrafted free agents. And then X. Javon Holland is playing good. X is playing good. But we're a little thin at linebacker, and it shows. We're really thin at corner. Eric Rowe is serviceable. We've got him back there as well, but that front four is just not getting too much pressure, and these quarterbacks are just having a field day with us for the most part. And that's the only thing I'm worried about. If we can't get to Joe Burrow, it's going to be a really tough game to win for Miami, I think, unless they can get those opportunistic plays.
Yeah, I think they have the receivers. They have even the running back.
Mixon.
They could potentially give the same blows as Hill and Waddle. So
if not more, because you have Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, yes,
Tyler Boyd
I would agree. A wide receiver position, they're as stacked as you get.
I think they're
However,
number one.
that offensive line has been that bad.
Yeah.
So I think it almost offsets, and it almost makes it exactly even.
I do. Here's what I want to say too, Sean, and you probably will attest to this. Josh Boyer's probably just going to straight up blitz nonstop.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame him.
Right. Now, the only problem is that, as we saw with Buffalo, Josh Allen counters those with screenplays to who? The running back. Joe Mixon is really good at catching the ball and making plays. He's been that guy for a while. So if they get those quick screens out, if they get those quick slants out, and one-on-one you have, Cater Cow, who's going to try to shut down someone like Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins, it's just not going to happen. So there's going to be a chess game going on. Miami, my prediction would be is because Tua's going to start this game, and everybody was listed as questionable. Teron Armstead, X, Jalen Waddle, and all those guys who would not have practiced if there was one on Monday. They're starting on this game. So I think Miami's going to – I don't think Miami's going to blow out the Bengals. I don't think they're going to make anybody more convinced that they're the team. I think that it's going to be – listen, the Bengals were in the Super Bowl a few months ago, Sean.
I don't know. I couldn't tell, no.
Right. But I'm saying it's the Bengals are in the Super Bowl. This is a team that's still hungry. They didn't win. But I think Tua's probably going to have a decent game. I think, if we can run the ball, maybe this is the week. That'll set up play action more for him because it just hasn't really been there too much. But I think that if we can get those opportunistic plays, that's going to be the difference maker. If we can get those 1 or 2 interceptions when it matters most, whether it's the red zone or on a big play, trying to get the ball down to Chase, and X can make a play, because probably going to put X on Chase. So I think that's going to be the difference maker. If we can't get any turnovers this game, if there are no turnovers in this game from the Bengals to the Dolphins, I would be worried. Now, we do have Tyreek Hill. We've got Jalen Waddle. But again, Tyreek Hill was shut down by a rookie cornerback by the Bills. He had 2 catches, 33 yards. Jalen Waddle, on the other hand, had 1 big play there for 45 yards at 3rd and 22. But you're not going to get those plays all the time. Eli Apple's covering Tyreek Hill this week, Sean. I have a feeling Hill might get his. Just a thought.
He'll bounce back after last week.
Yeah, I think so. But final score prediction, I'm going to give on the game. I think Dolphins win 24-20. I think it's a close one, and I actually think, so people don't jump on and drink the haterade, I actually think that Tua does a good job of getting them in position to where they're down 20-17, and they get in the red zone and they get down there and he drives them down the field and they get a touchdown, and that's how they get the win. And then that's going to be in Burrow's hand, and I think he throws one of those opportunistic picks to end the game. That's my foreshadowing. Now, every time I say the Dolphins are going to lose a game, they wind up winning. I don't know if this is going to be the opposite effect, Sean, where I say Miami's going to win and then they wind up losing. So I have no idea. But what's your prediction for this game before we move on to Packers-Patriots?
31-21. I think the Dolphins are going to get ahead early. They're going to hold on and maybe potentially get 2 turnovers out of the Bengals. And I think they're going to score on both of them. We're going to see a team that actually scores every time they get those turnovers and doesn't turn over themselves. That is my prediction. Dolphins are going to win 31-21.
Very nice. So Patriots-Packers, Sean.
Yeah, the game of the week, everything that I'm so excited to look forward to.
Is it?
I'm going to go ahead and not waste our time here. They're going to lose.
Why are you so? What, you don't trust?
And it's
going to
be a close game. No, and what I actually will say, it's going to be a close game.
I think so too.
I just watched a Aaron Rodgers team face a malingered Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, and they struggled bad. The only opportunity I think that the Packers could blow the doors off the Patriots is simply if they get that run game turned around. The Patriots struggled against Lamar Jackson. That's Lamar Jackson. I don't care who you have as a defense. He's going to get his rushing. Aaron Rodgers doesn't do that. They're going to run the ball with the running backs. They have, Jones.
AJ Dillon.
He's been doing well. AJ Dillon. I think Jones, he's going to get some, but I think the Patriots defense for traditional running teams, they're going to do fine against. They've turned it around so far this year when it comes to running backs, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And I think that's going to keep them close. If the Packers actually want to run the ball, 3-1, it's going to actually play in the Patriots' favor. Brian Hoyer isn't one to turn over the ball. I think he's going to start. I'd rather have Bailey Zapp. I want to see what the rookie's got. I think the Patriots are going to make this a really close one, and they're going to lose ultimately. I think it's going to come down to the last drive. And I think Aaron Rodgers, for once in his life, is going to make a fourth quarter game-winning drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that touchdown's going to go to the rookie Dobbs. I want to say 17-24. 17-24.
17-24? Okay. Yeah. What if I told you that the Packers have the 6th ranked defense?
It's deceiving. When you play a team that throws 9 passes in Chicago, that's kind of skewed. Not actually, that division actually has been playing pretty awful outside of the Lions. So I don't I pay no attention to it. I know early on people said they were going to be early Super Bowl favorites, mostly because of that defense. The defense actually hasn't been playing as good as I think. Outside of Gary, their outside linebacker, I think they've been kind of meh. Their defensive back group doesn't really impress me. Alexander is pretty much all they really have going on there. But Gary, he's been putting on a show. I was watching him come off the edge and make some plays, but I think the Patriots can counter that because unlike some of those teams I watch the Packers play, they can throw and run if they want to. It's just can't turn over the ball.
Right. I mean, it's interesting because looking at it, Aaron Rodgers this season, just looking into the stats here, I mean, he's 21st in passing in the NFL. 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, averaging 228 a game. And what do you know? Guess who's right behind him? Guess who's right behind him? Tom Brady.
Who's that guy?
3 touchdowns, 1 pick. I will say, they are an elite company right next to Ryan Tannehill. So,
I'm just gonna go ahead and say they probably have better numbers than him.
They do.
I watched one game for Ryan Tannehill, and that's all it took.
Ryan Tannehill, since we like to dog on him, he's got 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's averaging 215 a game.
Yeah, he's god awful. In fact, I would have said that's Tua's numbers last year.
No, in fact, Tua is second right now in the league in passing, although that's attributed mostly to the Baltimore game. He's averaging 308 a game, 8 touchdowns, 2 picks. And Jalen Hurts, though, right behind him. I'm really impressed with Jalen Hurts this year, honestly. Did you know that the Eagles have, in terms of like the offense, they have I think it was the number 1 offense and the number 5 defense. Talk about insane.
Well, I think their offense being so explosive is kind of what puts the pressure on the other team's offense, makes them play fast, may turn over the ball a little more than a team would be if the offense wasn't so good. I only know this because, something about the Patriots having a good offense year in, year out. And that
those days are gone.
And that made the defense look a lot better than it was because there were some pretty bad Patriot defenses that benefited off Tom Brady being able to score and not turning the ball over.
I think Aaron Rodgers is probably going to throw for about 270 this game against New England. And I think probably a lot of that's going to come in the second half because they're going to try to run the ball in the first half to set up play action. So I agree with you there. I think Aaron Jones gets about 82 yards in the ground and another 30 or 40 through the air for over 100 yards total. And then I think A.J. Dillon's going to get about 45 yards in the ground on some hard tackles like goal line scenarios. They'll give him the ball, kind of punch it in kind of thing. I do see – who are they playing? Brian Hoyer this Sunday?
Yeah.
I think Brian Hoyer is going to go throw for about 224, and I think Devontae Parker will probably get like 4 catches.
So, kind of interesting is when you think of the Patriots corners and how they match up on the Packers receivers. Alan Lazard, huge specimen, not a speed burner. They put him against Jalen Mills. It's going to be what we saw with Miami with Devontae Parker on him. He's just going to get the catches. Like, the man's just too big. So I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think the Patriots potentially are going to shift out and use safeties against him. Randall Cobb, you'll probably see Jalen Mills match up against him, and you'll see Jonathan Jones on Dobbs. That's a favorable matchup. I don't know how they exactly figured that out in the zone. If they disguise it and they keep pulling safeties in and out, having them come underneath and then pull out at the last second, maybe like a zone bluff per se, where they go into the box and then sit back. I think that's their best matchup. I like the Patriots' chances with their linebackers against the Packers running backs. The Packers also have had some injuries on their line, so there is the potential that we could see Dietrich Wise and Matthew Judon tee off if that run game does fail early. But I just don't think there's enough horses in the stable for Mr. Brian Hoyer. He looks like me out there throwing some deep passes. Those balls take a long time to come. Hopefully we get some good news on Jacoby Myers. I don't expect it. Maybe we can get those tight ends relevant again. That's the only keys I see is the Patriots running it early, making it successful, involve the tight ends, and just playing keep away. That's their best option. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's their best choice.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think Green Bay's probably going to win as well. I would say, I'm going to go with, I'll go 27-20 for this one.
So we're pretty similar.
Pretty similar. I want to say this too, by the way, random part of the show here, but I wanted to give everybody a check-in on a former coach. I think a lot of people have probably thought about him, but Adam Gase. Gase watch, Sean. I saw
Gase
this.
I instead of Hurricane Watch with me over here, I just see like Gase's bug eyes popping out over here on the screen.
I want to explain something here. I saw this article pop up on a Miami message board, and I want to read this to you, Sean. Okay, this was a few months ago. That was just I found it. I was digging through. Reported source: Adam Gase is returning to Lincoln High School to be the team's offensive coordinator for their 2022 campaign. Lincoln High School was Gase's former school in his hometown in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Gase helped lead the Rattlers to a 4-5 record in 2021.
Maybe he made enough money bushwhacking the Miami Dolphins that he feels comfortable. That he has to go to he has to go to his old school he went to because no one else probably even wants him at that. So he's got to take advantage of his home team, and he's still losing games.
He's 4-5.
I just hope the high school coaches that are working with him are probably also not getting into cocaine and spreading that amongst the school because
Sean, I just can't believe it. This guy was an NFL head coach. Questionable, I know, but he was. He can't even have a winning record with a high school team. Do you think they fire him in week 13 of the season or week 4 of the season as well, just like the Jets?
No. Where do they start? The water boy?
I think my favorite call from Adam Gase was when he was on the Jets. It was his last game. You probably remember this. They were playing the Raiders. And Adam Gase told Greg Williams. Remember Greg Williams, Mr. Headhunter?
Yeah.
He had him call a cover 0 blitz with 5-6 seconds in the game, and they needed a touchdown. And they call a cover 0 blitz, and Derek Carr throws a deep bomb pass. It's caught. Touchdown. Jets lose.
That sums up his career.
That's one of my favorite Gase calls. The other one being, we were playing the Colts, and Ryan Tannehill had just come back. This is when everybody was like, this is his year. And we had Frank Gore in the backfield. Right. Pick one of the 7 years. If we have Frank Gore in the backfield, and it was 3rd and 12, and there's 9 guys in the box.
QB draw.
And almost easy, Joe Judge. And he calls a halfback draw. And Frank Gore gets 1 yard, and we punt. I sat there. Right. I was like, not even Madden, not even the coach suggestion would be dumb enough to offer.
That's similar to what pissed me off with the 2nd and 14. Let's go ahead and do an inside running out of the shotgun. Like, can we just take the fucking points, please? Can we just take the points?
Just kick the ball. Just do something. Yeah, for
At
real.
least that would have been beneficial. But
Right. Well,
So-
needless to say.
So what I do want to point out is me and Buzz have been tracking our straight up wins and losses and also our spread. Last week I was actually over 600% and Buzz was over 500%. So that does look pretty good for us. After this next post game show we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and run that down for you guys so you can keep up, and hopefully I can win a little more money than just off my $5 bets that I do on Monkey Knife Fight. But anyhow,
Hey, are we still the same percentage? Was that up to date?
no. So actually, I do need to check that. If Krispy Kreme could actually let me leave at my scheduled time, I can maybe get us caught up by actually reviewing those numbers this week.
Okay.
But I'll have it for us after this Sunday for sure.
Okay. Because I am curious to see if I made it over 500.
I honestly think we both had a rough week this
Yeah.
week that just went past. But prior to that, I was looking pretty good. I think I'm probably evening out. I'm probably like just barely 600.
It's the
and
Jaguars.
I think you might be at like 5.5.
Yeah.
Somewhere around
Jaguars are screwing everybody over. They're
So,
playing.
hey, I took the Jags with the spread.
You did. You did. Well, anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today, everybody. That's going to be week 4 coming up. Again, Dolphins, Bengals Thursday night, Packers, Patriots on Sunday. You can catch us on the postgame show after the game on Sunday. We'll be up early the next day. Sean, as you get ready to get hit by this hurricane, potentially, it could wobble. Just want to remind everybody that you can find us wherever podcasts are available: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, etc. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram. We put our post-game shows up on YouTube as well, sometimes as clips and full episodes, and Instagram for injury reports and updates before the game, which we'll have for the Thursday night game coming up here for the Dolphins Bengals, as well as on Saturday or Sunday before the Patriots Packers game. So if you like the show, give us a like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Leave a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. We've got an email if you have any questions you want to send to Sean and I. We can take those as well. It's rivalsoftheeast@gmail.com. And besides that, Sean, anything you want to add?
No, bring the wobble on.
Bring the wobble on.
Waddle on, however you want to take that. Go waddle. I don't know.
Doing the waddle. See you, everybody.